obviously we didn't play like we wanted to play and expected to play. Our third top 10 team that we've played this year, and you know, I was out there and I was like, you know, we got a ways to go. We got a little ways to go, regardless of the adversity and all of that. But you know, you see what teams in the top 10, what they look like, how they play, and so I look back, and I know what our teams have looked like before when we were a top 10 team. So we have to get back to that. I know what it looks like, and how it performs, and how they lead with one another. And so that's what you're seeing the results of. Our guys are still competing, they're still playing hard, and all those things. But there is another level to this thing, and we can get there. We can get there, and in a lot of ways with some of the guys that are coming back, they'll be able to reflect back on. I told the guys in there, you know, you'll be able to, now you know what Washington, Michigan, Ohio State, how those guys compete, how they look, and all that, and how they execute and do everything that they do in the football field. So every time you're in the off season working out, you need to think about those games. You need to think about those people, so you're ready to perform at that same type of level next year when the thing comes around.
Any questions?
Can you at all look at this game as like a measuring stick, knowing that you're like other top 10 teams and seeing like what progress has been made or what areas is still lacking?
You can to a certain extent. I mean, we still don't have everybody that we had even back in the Washington game, but we have most of the guys, injuries and things like that. But absolutely, you can, as we watch the film, you know, because the naked eye sometimes you don't catch everything, and the film has a lot of detail in it that you miss just to the naked eye. So I'll be able to answer that even better on possibly Monday after watching all the film to see where we have improved and done things better compared to, you know, the previous 2 top 10 team games.
The quarterback situation, can you kind of explain how that's playing out right now and what the next 2 games will be like?
Yeah, right now we're looking to go with Caden all the way, and Sam is trying to preserve the red shirt, and not some, you know, major happens, you know what I mean? But that's what we're trying to do.
With Dylan, I don't know if we're going to get an update on him, Dylan Tatum, but just in general with Chance and Jester, and we talked about Marvin earlier this week. I mean, just how tough of a matchup was he for you guys defensively?
Oh, he's a tough matchup. He's one of the best receivers in the country. I mean, and so we knew that. Wish we'd have, you know, still did some things better. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we didn't want to just give him up some of the things that he did give, but and then Dylan Tatum, he's going to probably be out for the rest of the year with his injury, but you know, he'll be back strong next year for sure.
You mentioned that you played 3 of the top 5. How good is Ohio State?
They're good. They're a good team. All 3 of those teams are good teams, and so it was a great experience. It'd be interesting to see how this thing all works out when it's all said and done, as far as, you know, playoffs and all that kind of stuff. But they're a good team.
Offensively, where do you think that some of the breakdowns, I guess, where opening drive you guys come out and move the ball a little bit, but just throughout the game, the consistency wasn't there. Where did you see it?
I just saw us stalling out. Like we get some nice runs, and then we do some nice plays, and all of a sudden, you know, we take like 2 steps forward, 2 steps forward, and 3 steps backwards. It felt like that a little bit, you know what I mean? But we were running the ball fairly effectively, I thought. We just couldn't sustain drives, and then ultimately you want to get in the end zone and score touchdowns, and we weren't able to do that. And so that's disappointing. But our guys just kept working and still tried to, you know, make it happen.
When it comes to sustaining drives and, you know, having momentum and building off of that, especially on the offensive end, why do you think that's been hard for you guys? Is it because you have a younger quarterback who's, you know, trying to gain confidence and experience?
That's a good question, Maddie. You know, what you see a lot of times, like I said, when you end up watching the film and you're watching the details of it, it's a lot of, like we can show you guys, it's a lot of, man, that one guy. So it'd be like one guy, sometimes 2 guys not doing just what they were supposed to do, and that could have broke for this could have, but, so then you ask yourself, well, why is it always one guy? Why can't, and that's what you try to coach up and get better at, where all 11 are executing. I always say, if all 11 execute, and guys have heard me say this before, all 11 execute, you have a chance to win that play, that series, that, you know, that half, that quarter and all that. But If all 11, it only take one guy to mess up, you know. Man, oh, I see what you're talking about. That was there. It was well designed. One guy missed his assignment and it didn't work. And so you got to coach those guys to almost to perfection. You're trying to coach them to perfection, and we know nobody's perfect. But as a coach, you're trying to coach them to perfection. So when that one guy mess up or doesn't mess up or whatever it may be, as a coach, you should say, take pride in my guy. It ain't gonna be my one guy. I'm not gonna be the one guy. My guy is not gonna be the guy that messes up and doesn't execute his assignment. And you gotta stay on him about that, or get a guy in that can get the job done.
I've got a part of these games before where they built this kind of wave of momentum right out of the gate. I guess, how do the guys maybe respond when Ohio State, your first three guys put them on, and how did they push through in the second half?
They pushed through well. I told them to keep going out there and compete, take it one play at a time. Just one play at a time. And just try to build upon that and get better. Focus on getting better. You're still playing the game of football and you have an opportunity to get better. So just keep working on it one play at a time and get better. Execute, do your job, all those things. And let's just see what happens. And that's how I said when we kick the field goal, I said, hey, we're gonna walk them down. I'm trying to always encourage. I said I told you all that before. I'm an encourager, so I'm always believing we can win some type of way all the way to the end. So we're gonna walk them down now. Let's go walk them down. We gave them 21-3, let's go walk them down. That's just a mindset, and I think our guys have bought into that to a certain extent. They probably were stunned a little bit initially, and then they're like, okay, let's go. They like shake it off, keep playing. And we, again, just have to sustain drives, have to execute better on a consistent basis that allow us to get in the end zone and make stops when we need to make stops.
You said after the Minnesota game, your message to the team was to go 4-0 in November. I guess, what would you tell them tonight after the game now that you can't get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible?
Right. So if you remember the whole thing, it was 3 things I kept saying. You know, was November is for contenders, and we were contender for 4-0, a bowl game, and personal pride. So now there's the personal pride part. Guys should go out there and compete and try to get better throughout the course of the week of practice, and then when we go out there and play Indiana and Penn State. So now you're competing and you're contending for personal pride. There's pride in your performance. So that's the mindset that the guys should have. They're still playing the game that they love, okay? And if you love it like that, you love just going out there to compete and play it.
With you said the goal is to obviously stick with Caden and Sam keep his red shirt. Is it Andrew being number 2 moving forward, and is there any chance Noah is healthy enough to suit up again, I guess?
It'll be Andrew as number 2 moving forward, and Noah is. We'll see. I can't say yes or no right now. We'll see on him. Yeah.
What you see on Chance's face? Did you say anything to him after the game? Just like you said, as a young guy, he's probably the best player he's faced, and a lot of the players when they talk about him talk about needing to keep his confidence up. So I'm just wondering after a game like that, what have you said anything to him? Just what you noticed?
I haven't had a chance to say anything to him yet, but I will. Chance is going to be a really, really good football player. He's going to be really good. So it's a learning lesson for him, you know. He's already started more games. So I reflect back on Darquez Denard. He started 2 games as a true freshman. And that's because Tris Rucker was out. That's crazy. I remember that, but that's 2010. But he was, and so he started 2 games. And then he started for 3 straight years, and we saw him get better and better and better till he was a Thorpe Award winner and a first-round pick. So Chance has that type of ability as he continues to get stronger, faster, bigger, all those things. He'll get better and better, and I think he's going to be an excellent player at the end of the day.
Got time for a couple more.
Also wanted to ask you about Nick Samak. Anything you could say about what happened to him, and just what you're feeling for him as a guy who's a veteran from Ohio and a good leader for you guys?
It was a minor injury. He should be fine. Nick should be fine. He's a competitor. He brings energy every day. Like you say, he's an Ohio guy, so that's always been a big deal for us at Michigan State. Even back when I played, Ohio guys trying to come to Ohio State and get a win, or even if they came to us, we're trying to win. You know, I played with Travis Davis. We came here in '87. Travis had 5 sacks. You know, he's an Ohio guy. Percy Snow, Ohio guy. Myself, Ohio guy. So we took pride in playing against these guys and beating these guys. And then since I've been a coach, recruited a lot of guys from Ohio. And whenever we would come down here and play, or they came up to play us, was always talking about, you know, how, you know, we wanna beat these guys, cause we're from Ohio, and, you know, and everybody on the team would always try to be fired up for them, because we were always fired up to try to beat Michigan for the Michigan guys, so the Michigan guys were fired up for the Ohio guys when we tried to play beat Ohio State. So it was always a very, very important deal to try to do that.
Anything else?
The fake punt decision, what went into that? Obviously, it worked for you guys, but what was that thought process, and how good did you feel with the quality of alignment and what you were seeing?
We felt great about it. It was all about getting the extra possession for our offense. You would try to get them the ball as many times as you can, so you can score, try to get scores, touchdowns ultimately. And so it's just about getting the extra possession. We saw on film that it's something that would work and could work, and it did. And so it's great execution by our punt team.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.